Okay, maybe this time it's alright. Let's see. Hi everyone. Ah, you're here. Okay, so I'll be doing a short test stream. I wanted to check if I can stream from my iPad. So now you should be able to see my iPad screen. And because I changed my iPad Pro to the new iPad Pro and I have a USB-C port on the iPad Pro, I can connect a cable to my computer through the HDMI. So I can stream directly from my iPad without using some Wi-Fi and air something tricks. So I can stream directly from my iPad and you can see it in good quality, I hope. I don't have any music on, so you can put your favorite chill hop or whatever. I listen a lot of chill hop recently, so yeah. And about the thing I have here, this is the animation that Kana is doing. Actually, this is the third animation from her series of eating stuff. People eating Japanese foods really deliciously. And as usual, I'm doing the background for this, so I want to I got a sketch from Kana of the background and I want to kind of figure it out and maybe lay down some basic colors and see what happens. I don't have any reference for this, so yeah. This is Procreate. This is the new just Procreate. And let's see here. First, I want to put my sketching set on with a pencil. Okay, no layer. Let's put a layer on. Let's see how big the picture is. Canvas. It's okay, I think. Let's make it maybe. Can I make it bigger? Okay, but this is a new function in Procreate. Okay, so resample and then 2000 pixels and done. Okay, and I want to erase this doodle I did. Cut. Okay, so we can now sketch stuff. Yeah, I know I erased it. I came to Japan I think 9 years ago already. That's almost always no. I'm 3 years old I think. So I spent a lot of time in Japan. The quality is looking good. That's what I would like to hear. Okay, so I want to kind of fix some things here, like the size of the pillows here. I want to make them bigger, maybe even bigger than this. I don't have any references, so I'm doing just what I want here. I actually yeah, Maddie, I actually put recently audio file on my website that you can press like a play button, so you can listen to how you actually pronounce my name, because a lot of people have been asking this. My name is Mateusz Urbanowicz. And hello to you everyone! Yay! Okay. Hello everyone! Okay, so these are like pillows that you can sit on, so they should be a bit bigger than the original sketch. And maybe like the leg, I'll do a different style. Okay, let's erase this. Okay, I'll make it maybe like this. This is a nice curve. I'm really pleased how this curve went. This is why I prefer to like sketch my stuff on the iPad, because I can work directly on the screen, but I'm not kind of tied to the computer, so I can do whatever I want, and it's closer to working on the paper. I'm so used to it lately that when I want to help Kana and fix some things or sketch some things on her computer, when she has only the Intuos tablet, so like the tablet that you draw on the tablet and you see things on the screen, I cannot do a straight line recently, so I'm really used to Procreate, using Procreate recently. Yes, we are married. We are married for 3 years, and this is the fourth year going. I'm good, thank you. Have you ever used watercolor pencils? I bought some. I don't have a full set, but I bought some to test. And this is an interesting. How do you call it? This is an interesting tool, but I kind of don't really know what I should do with it. It's similar for me with the watercolor pencils and watercolor color pencils. It's like I don't know what to do with them actually, that I cannot do with regular watercolors. So the plus side of those tools is kind of lost for me. I don't know. I tried to do some watercolor pencils. Maybe there's a video of this on my channel. Maybe I'll do some more testing, but for now it's kind of, I don't know what to do with those. Maybe you could do some blending or nice stuff, but do you have children? Not yet. What's your job in Japan? This actually. I'm doing art full time. I quit the animation company when I was doing animation backgrounds, and now I'm doing only my art. I put my iPad into the sleep mode thing. It should not put like stuff on the screen. Okay. This also, the pillow has to be bigger, but because this is like a restaurant, I don't think it would be like so straight. Maybe let's make it like this. Kind of like this. I have Procreate, my iPad connected by I/O. It's like an iPad, and the iPad has USB-C. So I have a USB-C to HDMI cable, and I have an interface that again makes it into USB, and I have a hub that is USB-C again, which goes to my laptop, and here I can just use it as a webcam thing. So it's kind of complicated, so I wanted to test it if it will work. Okay, it's like a pillow. Okay, let's display the guy for a second and see how it looks. I think it's okay. And there's like stuff like this. I should be more in perspective like this, I think. Probably Kana will draw the small things on the table, so it's similar in style to um, this. And she is making, I'll show you. She is making the next part of this. I'm making a YouTube Inception now. YouTube in YouTube in YouTube on live streaming on iPad, but whatever. So this is a next background for this animation. I'm using actually the smaller iPad, but that's just because I have a notebook. So I use my notebook most of the time for drawing and painting and doing stuff. But if you want to use your iPad Pro only for your art, it probably the bigger one is better. I wanted the smaller one because I use it for reading and I use it for uh, watching stuff and reading comics and doing all kinds of crazy stuff like making music and recording and editing video. So I wanted something that's portable more. But if you want to like draw a lot of stuff on it, probably the bigger one is better. Okay, so Łukasz asks, what your career looked at the beginning? Um, in the beginning, I was just a student, but I made a short animation uh, kind of video movie that was called Right Places. And because I was studying in Japan in a school that has an animation course, we were lucky that the animator, the director Makoto Shinkai, came to our university and did a lecture. So I gave him my animation. It was not finished yet at that time, and I was asked if I would like to come to the animation studio in Tokyo to do an interview and apply for a job there. So I did. So my first work as an artist in Japan was actually being a full-time employee of an animation studio. So I did not work as a freelancer. I did work as an animation studio employee. So yeah. Uh, and while working at the studio, I gathered up how do you call it, other works and my portfolio and stuff, so I was able to quit from the animation studio when I felt like the time was right. Okay, let's do the window. I think the table is more or less okay. The perspective is more or less here. So let's do like the window pane. This is okay, but this is like, it has to be like have thickness to it. Kana just left it for me to do, and she was like, oh, you can do it, and I was like, okay. I'm happy that you're happy. I have a Q&A session at 8 for my Patreon supporters, so before that I decided to do a quick stream. And for windows like this, probably the bars should be like more or less squarish, so let's move it down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I did it on purpose. Like, it should be like this, but things often do not lie perfectly in perspective when you sit on it and then go somewhere. So I decided to make it little bit of perspective so it feels more natural, I guess. Like, if you draw things in perspective, you should like aim for this circle here, so not everything is perfectly perfect, but it's kind of off a little bit, so it looks more natural. What is with the kangaroos and koalas? All the kangaroos and koalas? I don't understand. Do do do. Okay, let's make this part thicker a bit. I guess I can double tap the um, uh, Apple Pencil to switch between brush and eraser because it's the new one. But I'm still not used to it, so I still tap the icon on the screen because it's kind of faster for me. I should get used to it. Okay. And because we are here, we should be able to see this line more thicker, I guess. Okay, let's do the vertical ones, and I will later erase the. This is just a sketch. As I showed you the animation, it has no lines actually, so I will be not using the line work for the final piece. So I'm just making a sketch for me to get more or less the idea what I'm doing here. I don't have any reference for this, so thank you. I'm glad you liked the book. I'm doing the next one, and I'm still really far behind. But yeah, I'm kind of getting through a lot of paintings recently, so maybe. Okay, so the window is here and it ends like here. So we have perspective like this. So the further we go above the horizon, the more of this we will be able to see. So let's make this line thicker and like this. Okay, and this should be like double. Okay, so here we are at the floor, and let's make a like kind of wooden thing here, like a bar. Okay. Like this. I'm trying to kind of loosen the line a little bit so I'm not doing everything perfectly straight. Okay, so this is the window, and because this is glass, at least I think it is, we should be able to see the second layer because this window is open. So there are the second layer of bars here. Like something like this probably, and there's like the thing that we pull to open the window, and there are actually rules which part of the window should be in front. I don't know if I did it right. Probably yes. Okay, so I'll think I'll add like a bar here so it's a little bit more interesting maybe. So like this kind of thing. so it guards us so we don't fall out of the window. And I'll add like the vertical ones here. So there's one here and here. We cannot see this one. And like this. So it looks like there's something behind of the window, not only like a frame. I like this kind of micro balconies thing because it gives me something to play with the perspective. Yes, I was there. This is Akabeko. If you don't know what Akabeko is, you can search Akabeko. And it's this kind of thing that bobs its head up and down. So let's just put it rough like here, and something also here. Okay, so I think we have more or less the inside. I don't know what this is. I have to later ask Kana what this is. Okay, so let's do the outside. I will do a new layer. And let's paint something here. This is the horizon line, so the sea should be here. Let's put some trees here like this and more like this, so we have some variation. Maybe let's do some branches here, so bigger leaves like this. I'll draw it properly later with just color. Okay, so like this, and we have like trees here and like a cliff, I guess. Maybe let's place some houses here also, so it's more interesting. And like trees. Okay, like this. It's probably inspired by Enoshima, so the island we live close to. And like trees and like a, not like a trees, cliff kind of thing. A cliff. I'm drawing using Procreate. And by the way, if you want to get the brushes like this set and this painting set that I'll be using, you can get it on my Gumroad for free. Yay! Okay, so I'm sorry I cannot read Russian letters. Asks Mateusz, maybe I didn't find this on your blog, but how you scan photographs, your pictures, or photograph your pictures? Thank you. I have a scanner. This is a Canon scanner. It's a Canon Scan 9000, I think, F Mark II or something like that. And this is only like A4 scanner, but it's a really nice scanner because it gives beautiful colors, and this is the best thing a scanner can give you. And I use the scanner drivers to scan things, and I always turn the like sharpen effect on, so the texture is nice and sharp, and I don't have to worry about sharpening stuff up in Photoshop later. So I always use this for my scanning. Okay, so I'll erase part of the sketch that Kana did, that I fixed or redid. Okay, so let's erase them. Erase. Erase. Like this part here. This pillow here. This. I don't know what this is. I'll ask later. This map is okay. This line here, this line is here. Okay. make it more visible a little bit. Okay, undo. Okay, undo. Okay, so like this, I guess. Let's show the guy and see how it looks. It's okay, I think. I'll have to add tatami lines. Yeah, I forgot about this. In place like this, you often have like just regular place that you can go up with your shoes, and a place that has tatami mats. So this will be tatami, and you have to like you cannot go there with your shoes, so let's make a tatami here. It's with the perspective from here, more or less. Okay, and there's the tatami obi, so the tatami has like this shape with the bars at the sides, and it's always like in a pattern. So okay, is that oyakodon? Yes, it is oyakodon. Nice. Okay, and okay, I don't need this. I need this one, this one, this one, and this one, and let's group it. Okay, merge, flatten. Okay, okay, and okay, so this is our sketch. Let's check the battery. It's still okay, and let's put it to multiply, and let's make a new layer, or let's group first things we don't need, like group this. We don't need this one, and let's leave the guy here, make a new layer. Alright, let's rename this, rename sketch. Alright. Okay, so the next step I'll be doing is blocking things out. So I'll switch to my painting set, and I'll use probably a simple brush. I still don't know which one, this one or this one. Let's see. I'm using here random colors. I'll be just using random colors to block things out. So I can then paint stuff, and everything will be on separate layers. So this is the first step on I always do when painting a background. Let's use just like a more hard brush, like this one maybe. Okay, maybe let's put one with the texture. Sorry. Okay, so always when I do a background, I always start by blocking shapes, and you can do it like this. Can I do it double? Nah. The problem is that it will also leave an edge, so maybe if I do it like this, yeah, it's okay. So let's use this brush then. This is a secret. How we met with Kana, it's a secret. It's a really good story, so maybe we'll use it sometimes in our comic, so no. I'm using the new iPad Pro, which is the smaller one, so 10 inches I think. Feel it. Okay, this works nice. Feel it. Okay, next one. I'm trying to keep the shapes kind of loose and not to do them too perfect, but I want to keep the pillows pillowy and the desk, the table kind of hard. Chopin. Does it leave edges? No. Okay. Ah. Yeah. It's a different layer. Okay. To the table next. New layer. I'm sorry that it's so late, or I don't know. Or so early. Do you prefer drawing digitally or traditionally? I think I prefer drawing traditionally, but I'm not really like, oh, you should draw like this. It depends on your style and depends what you want to do. If I was doing animation backgrounds and a lot of them, I would for sure go for digital because it's just faster and easier, and you can do a lot of copy and paste, which helps a lot. And you can do stuff like clipping mask and fill and stuff like layer groups and all kinds of crazy things. So yeah, I'm doing here a clipping mask. This is also a new function in Procreate. It was not here until recently, and thanks to this I can do stuff like just fill stuff and then add a layer and clipping mask again, and I choose different color just to know what I'm doing, and I can make like this part here, okay, and fill it with color, and then I can make a new layer again and put a clipping mask again, and then I can choose a different color. How do I delete this? I made a palette, and I'll paint this part. This is actually how we paint a lot of backgrounds for animation. It's clipping masks on clipping masks on clipping masks, because having a lot of layers helps later to fix your mistakes and adjust stuff, and clipping mask makes a lot of things easier for the person who will later edit the file. So now I have like 4 or 5 layers. That is the table, and if I alpha lock all of them, I can adjust stuff really fast. Okay, let's add one more even. This is also one of the things I wanted to test in Procreate because it's a new thing. I'm okay, trying not to be so hard with this. Okay, let's add like this, but here. Okay, so we have the table, and can I mirror it? Let's see if I can mirror it. So let's choose this and let's group it, and I can duplicate it. I can, and I can move it like this. No, can I moved both of them. Okay. Okay, let's choose one. Let's not be greedy. One table. Okay. Huh? What? Okay, it's okay. Everything's under control. Can I mirror it? Is there a mirror kind of thing? Flip canvas. No. Uniform. Flip horizontal. Pin. It's almost okay. Freeform. Let's adjust it. No one will know. Let's make it smaller a bit. Okay. Haha. So I have to extend the parts that are not here. Is the right layer? Yeah. That's a nice iPad then. I'm sorry, I didn't look at the chat for some time. Um, if I'm painting by myself and just for myself, I try to keep the layers for to minimum. I put stuff together. I merge a lot layers, and I try to not to paint with layers too much, because at some point it also makes the painting a bit stiff, and you can get kind of lost in the layers and um, think about the layers only. But when I'm painting a thing like this, oh, here I made a mistake. When you are painting a thing like this and I'm painting for someone, maybe Kana later will be doing some adjustments to this. Maybe she'll change the colors, maybe she would like the table a bit more like this or like that. It will be a lot of less work to do it like this with the layers. Okay, so I have two tables right now. Yeah, let's do the back wall and the floor. So first let's do the floor. Let's pick a nice color close to tatami color like this and fill it. Poof. Alright, and now let's make a new layer and let's make the wall. So okay, wall ish color, I don't know. Like this. And let's fill it. Ah. The fill option in Procreate is nice. I like it. Okay, so now the wall elements. Let's choose nice brown color maybe. And I want this part here. Okay, and the window will be on top of that, so I don't have to be so accurate. Procreate has a option to do straight lines, but I purposefully turned it off because it kept doing straight lines when I was thinking about things, and just having the pen on the screen mid painting, I would like do like a nice shape and be like, what to do next? And there was like pin straight line. Hi everyone. Um, I will be doing more Photoshop videos for sure. I don't know when. It's just because I'm doing a lot of stuff for my book, so I don't have so much free time. But I'm purposefully leaving the second part of this year more free, so I can focus more on doing stuff like experimenting with Photoshop and brushes and stuff. And because I'm kind of angry on Adobe right now, I would like to also try another painting apps like the Clip Studio and other things that also can do animation. Clip Studio seems to be an interesting option because you can just buy it and you don't have to pay monthly fee for it, and you can do animation for with it really efficiently, it seems. So we are interested in it with Kana, because Kana also does animation like this one. So I would like to have a go at it. So I'm purposefully leaving a bit of time later this year to do things. Yeah, I also want to try Krita. A lot of people have been recommending it to me. So I guess I'll have a look at it. Also, the plus thing on Clip Studio is that there is also an iPad version. So if I have a Clip Studio file, I can open it on my iPad also, like mobile version of Photoshop or something. So that's a nice thing to have. Okay, so let's make a thing here. Yeah, the monthly fee is not really nice. We are trying to escape from the Adobe kind of way of doing things. I have been using the full set of Adobe apps when I was at the animation studio. So I was using Premiere and After Effects and Photoshop and Lightroom and Flash sometimes, and how do you call it, the app for audio editing also, Audition. Audition, huh? But recently the development of those apps is kind of poor, I guess. Um, Ad- Adobe Premiere is not really efficient on Macs, so I tried to switching to Final Cut Pro, and it's a lot more easy to use and kind of efficient, I think. So I also switched to Motion instead of After Effects, and I also switched to um, Affinity Design instead of Illustrator because I'm just doing simple logos and stuff from time to time, so I didn't need it. So I don't need it anymore. Okay. So the only app that I'm using from for Adobe is Photoshop and Lightroom from time to time. So I started to think, if do I really have to pay like the, I think, I don't know, $12 or something a month for Photoshop, or can I just switch to Clip Studio, especially that I don't do so much painting digitally, and I can paint digitally with anything. Actually, I can paint with Procreate, I can paint in Clip Studio. My style of painting does not require for me to have Photoshop, especially. So Clip Studio seems to be good for making animation because it has tools designed for Japanese animation studios. So the more expensive version of Clip Studio, which is not so expensive actually, has nice timeline tools and onion skinning and animation tools and rotoscoping tools. So that's why I'm interested in it. Photoshop also has like animation timeline and stuff, but really simple tasks like, I don't know, turning the onion skinning on and off, or adding one frame layer or something like that. You have to go to through menus, and it's not efficient. You have to install like crazy plugins and stuff to make it usable. So I would really like to test Script Studio to check if the animation tools there are better. Yeah, and those you can also use Retas with this. So I don't know. It looks good on paper. I have to check it out. Okay, clipping mask. No, this is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to check the battery. Okay. I'm checking the battery because when I have the HDMI output cable connected, I don't have the charge cable connected, so okay. The Photoshop timeline is not really um, good. It has some nice features like you can translate stuff and you I mean like move it with keyframes, but yeah, it's not really aimed for frame by frame animation. I don't think it's really geared for that. Okay, so I'm trying to add a bit of um, thickness to those bars on the window. Let's see, let's leave it like this for a second. I'll get back to it later. Let's do the rest first. Okay. And there is like a thing here on which the window slides. Like a rail. Okay, and let's do the outside. So like here and new layer. Okay, is it straight? Not really, but whatever. I like this kind of loose style. I'll modify it a bit. Like this, and I can I warp it? Okay. Okay. And let's add the bars underneath it. Maybe a new color is better, like this one. Okay. Yes, like this. Maybe. I like how loose this is. The canvas size is I think 2000 pixels because the animation that Kana is making is 1600. I don't know. This is the shape that the size that she's making it. So I made it a bit bigger so I have some, how do you call it, leeway. So a little bit of room. I can make it smaller than later. But if I make it too big, I'll have a limit on how many layers I can make. With this canvas size, I think I can make about 120 layers, so it's not bad. Let's make it this color so we can see it. Yay. So yeah, I switched from Adobe Premiere to Final Cut, and I switched from Adobe After Effects to Motion, and I switched from how do you call it, Adobe Audition also to Final Cut, because Final Cut recording is enough. And actually I switched from Illustrator to the Affinity Design. So yeah. Yeah, I think that Audacity. Yeah, Audacity also, but I don't do so much music editing. I uh, I use audio apps on my iPad more. I use an app that's called Auria, and also an app that's called Beatmaker 3, which is nice. I didn't have the pleasure to use Audacity, but I know about this app, and if I was going to do something on my Mac, probably I will use this. Does Apple make an app for making music like Final Cut Pro? Musical editing music? No, I'm sorry, I don't know about this app. Um, I know about the rough animator, which is like a really rough animation thing. I would like to have a nice animation app on the iPad. I know that there are some like bigger apps that you can buy to do animation on the iPad, but probably like using the Clip Studio would be best. But I don't think doing animation on small screen, even like if you have the bigger iPad, is really efficient. Yeah, they make GarageBand. Yeah, they also had like Logic. Is Logic Apple, or is it like Sony or something? No, Sony was Sony Vegas. I don't know. Whatever. Recently, I have been using a lot of simple apps like Procreate, and I'm having a lot of fun in apps like this because I can do just a painting with my small set of brushes, and I don't have to care about anything else. And I don't even have to care about recording this process because it's automatically recorded, and this is the one of the best features of Procreate. Okay, and now let's make a line here like this, and also I'll later put a shadow here. Okay. Let's see how it looks without the sketch. There is some room for improving lines, but I like how loose it looks. For now, I leave it like this. I skipped this line here, I see. Okay. Next, what's next? I'll add a layer here-ish, like this one. Okay, let's make it this color, and I'll add an edge here. Line here, and a top edge on this board. This is why I like clipping masks. Okay. and let's add the edge on the tatami. This green, and let's, you don't have to, but we can clip mask it so it does stay inside here, but this layer is below the wall, so we don't have to think about this. Like this. Let's make it thicker. Or not. Okay. Let's paint some trees maybe outside. So I'll group all the things that are inside. So I have a inside folder. Can I folder a folder? Let's see. Group. Oh, it seems I can. Okay, nice. Layer. Let's paint some trees. Maybe a nice brush like this one. Yeah, why not? Maybe smaller. Okay, so I want to paint this one for now. Let's just more or less block the shape out so we know what we are doing. We are going to add leaves later. Okay. And there's like another one here. Okay. And this. And let's paint the one that's on top. What do we use for this? Maybe this for branches. Let's add some branches. New layer. Not you. Here. Okay. This is for those of you who joined right now. This is for animation that Kana does. This is a new animation from the series that she does, like this one of people eating things. So I did the backgrounds for the previous two animations, so I'm also doing a background for this one. And let's add some water. Not with this brush, with this brush here. Okay. And a hill or cliff. So if you want to see the previous two animations that she did, just look for Kana Urbanovic on YouTube, and you will find two animations that she did that, to our surprise and more to Kana's surprise, I did know that they are nice, went kind of viral. So the play count on those animations is a bit crazy. So go and check them out. Okay. And I'll add some trees on top of that so we know that there are trees there, like here. I have a little bit of smoothing on this brush, so it's not really meant to for stuff like this. Maybe like here. But I want to block things out so I know what I'm doing. What animation school would you recommend? I don't know. I'm sorry. I only went to one, so I cannot tell about other ones. But from my experience is that if you want to learn, you will be able to learn in not only in Japan but at all. um, if you go to a really good school and you don't do anything actually, um, that's it does not matter what school you will go to. I went to the school in Kobe, which is the Kobe Design University, which has manga and animation courses, because I would like to do both sometime. And I feel that I learned a lot, but most of the things that I learned were I learned by myself. I think it's nice to have professors and people from the industry coming and answering your questions, and also make some connections. But you have to put like in the work yourself most of the time. Maybe it's different in different universities where there are like proper courses on that show you how to do stuff like from scratch, but copy and paste. If I can copy the yes, and then I can paint another one. These are probably like prices here. I'll leave it to Kana to fill them in. I know about Doraemon and I know about Shinchan. I have not seen much of them, but some people in the animation studio that I was working in were like really huge fans of Doraemon, especially. So I know about it. Okay, let's make some branches with not this brush, or maybe with this brush. Yeah, this is nice brush. I have been seeing a lot of videos of Cuckoo. If you know him, you know why I'm speaking like this. Mm, let's see. It's just if you go to university or any school, if it's like a in Japan they call it Semon Gakko, so like a profiled school that you go to after high school. It's not a university, but it gets you ready for like jobs and stuff. The thing that you have to remember is that it's your time and probably your money. So you have to use them the best you can. So if you have any problems, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you would like to do but you don't know how, there are people there that will answer your questions because they are paid to do so, or they are just good people and they are your friends, or from other faculties, or your like seniors or whatever. So there are a lot of people that will answer your question and will help you to get better at things, but you have to go out and ask them and ask for advice and ask for opinions. And this is what you this is how you'll benefit from going to a school like this. If you just do the courses, the classes, and you try to do everything by yourself, I don't know if there's a meaning to go to like a school like this, but because you can set yourself a thing to that you want to accomplish by yourself, and it's the same thing in the end. So going to a school like animation school is good if you really use the time and the resources and the people that are there to help you grow. I did this mistake that I had awesome teachers and I did not I did not squeeze enough knowledge um, from them. I think I would, if I would go back in time and do my university again, I would squeeze more knowledge from them. I had awesome animators and like manga artists that were just there for me to ask them stuff, and I was kind of embarrassed because I was not good enough with art and I was not good enough speaking Japanese. So I did not ask enough questions, I think now, but yeah, hindsight. How did you develop your style? I just painted a lot of animation backgrounds, 4 years of painting every day from morning to night. So I kind of developed the style that I feel most comfortable with. But it's still developing, so it's not a finished thing. I recently got my hands on the Mielo watercolors. I have not used them yet, but I have tested them and they look really promising, and they are less expensive than Schminke a lot, but I like the colors and I like how they behave. I will be using them in a future video. They started to selling them in Japan, so I was really happy to see it and start using them because they are really much more or less expensive, less expensive than Schminke, which is expensive in even like here in Japan where watercolors are kind of popular. So yeah, this is the thing that I'm kind of looking forward to test in on my channel. Okay, so I want to do like bigger leaves here, so I put a branch here, like this thing. Here-ish. So I can paint a bigger like leaves here, like this size. And I would also Holbein is really good. Holbein is really good and it's really cheap, so it's nice. That's kind of, I don't have to say it. It's nice. It's what Miyazaki Hayao uses. It's really good. I think Mielo and Holbein will be more or less the same price. Maybe Mielo is a little bit cheaper. I don't know. You have to kind of check it out. I have not bought any Holbein paints for some time now, so I don't remember. And there's also the Polish brand, which is called Renaissance, which is also nice. Okay, let's see how it looks without the sketch. It's more or less okay. I like how it's really wavy and weird. Let's check the battery. Still 40%, going strong. Okay, let's add some leaves then. What we will use for the leaves? I need a sharpish brush. Maybe this thing. Let's make it smaller. Okay. Green color and what shall we use here? Painting. Maybe this thing. I'm still kind of not sure what style I want to use here for things like leaves. I can do leaves like this, and I can also pick just my huge brush and do like things like this, and then maybe erase it a little bit so it looks more like it should. Yeah, maybe I'll go with this one. Delete! New layer! Still in learning process. I'm still in learning process too. I came to Japan I came to Japan, I think, about 9 years ago already. Okay, so this is like this, and this one. This is like this. Okay, maybe a bit bigger. Let's try painting some leaves with this and see what happens. Okay. I came to Japan 9 years ago to study at a university in Kobe because I wanted to learn how to do animation and comics. So I came to Japan to study animation and comics. But in the end, I in animation rather than comics. So I want to go back to doing more comics and stories of my own. Did I struggle in Japan with socializing? A bit, I guess. Learning Japanese helped a lot because people feel more comfortable when they can speak to you in a language that they understand well. So I'm really glad that I spent some time first coming to Japan learning Japanese first, and then just trying to like live with only English, which is not impossible but difficult. It's hard moving to Japan because you have to have a visa. You can stay for like 3 months, but not longer than that, and you cannot work. So you either have to have a job that will take you like a full-time employer style, so they can vouch for you and put all your papers right, so you can get a working visa, or you have to marry in Japan or have a family in Japan or something like that. It's hard to come just like that. You can get some visas like 1 year work holiday visa or something like that, but they also have some rules that you have to follow. I don't know if there will be a verb. Maybe. For now, Kana is planning to do like the red cow thing here that would move its head up and down and maybe some stuff. The cost is of what's the cost of watercolors? The cost is highish, not really high, because you can do a lot with just like a watercolor set that it does not go like empty so fast actually. For me, it's like when I'm doing now the Tokyo at Night series, and I'm using a lot of strong colors because these pieces are really dark. So I think I'm using like my watercolors to their full like covering potential, because there's almost no white of paper left when I finish with a piece. I can go empty on the color that I use the most in like 4 pieces that are kind of biggish because they are 2 times A4. So probably using tubes is better, and maybe using a bit cheaper watercolors like not Schminke but Mielo or Holbein is better. But I'm kind of used to Holbein, so to Schminke, so that's why I'm using for now. But I'm also thinking about switching to Mielo after I finish, or Holbein after I finish the book, so I can just refresh my palette a bit. And with painting like this, I can go like 3-4 paintings. I can clean up a half pan cube of the color that I use a lot. So it's like $900, so $9, $10, $12 for a new one. It can be a bit expensive, but it's not a cost that would be really bringing me down right now. Especially if I would use like Holbein or Mielo, or would paint just regular watercolor paintings and not night. Okay, let's move this under and see what happens. This looks better. Okay. Okay, so Holbein is Holbein. This is O. And Schminke is Schminke. And Mielo is, I think, like this. This is a Korean brand. Schminke is German, and Holbein is Japanese. No problem. I will be writing about them and showing them on my channel because I got a nice set of that they have, which consists only on of one pigment paints, which is nice for mixing, and I want to test them, and I'll put it on my channel. But because I don't do reviews, I need to paint something with them actually. So when I will have some time, I'll do this. Okay, so I'm trying to cover this part, but I'm leaving some white spots so it looks like there are like leaves there. Mielo. Yeah, like mielo. 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 I like this mielo. I like them actually. I tested them, and from what I could see, having only one pigment, single pigment paints really makes a difference in mixes, so the colors are more vibrant. And because I'm doing night scenes right now for my book, I don't really care about the vibrancy so much, but for some brighter pieces, probably I would go for Mielo to have like nice vibrant colors. Thank you. I like Oga Kazuo's sketches also. They are really brilliant. I'm really happy that I have his book because his book showed me that you can actually do pencil sketches of scenes that are like, whoa, this is awesome. I would like to have it in my room, like in a frame. So yeah, it's one of the reasons I got back to like pencils and stuff. Okay. I'll add some details later. Let's now focus on the look here and just sculpt it a little bit here. Add some leaves maybe. If you can hear Kana in the back, she is playing Monster Hunter. So exciting. Okay, let's leave it like this for now. I'll add another layer on top of the branches to make it more three-dimensional. So let's take a different color and let's put some leaves here also. So like this. Like here, make it bigger. Like here and maybe like here. So this is a nice method to do a tree digitally. You can do stuff like this with watercolors. You have to think before you do the branches and stuff. So Yeah, I have been using a lot of pans because I like to like switch and you cannot buy empty pans in Japan. I don't know why. No one sells them. So that's why I cannot just put some how do you call it, paint into the pans. I would like to do it, but you cannot buy them in Japan. So I was using a lot of pans, but recently, because I used a lot of them, I got some empty ones at last, and I started putting like tube watercolors in the pans, so I can move them around in my set. So it's cheaper and more efficient, I think, and I don't see actually a difference between like a tube squeezed into a pan and originally sold pan. Actually, from what I read, Schminke watercolors are the same formulation between the pans and the tubes, so I don't know if there's any difference at all. So tubes are cheaper there for I use tubes. At least this is my kind of impression that I got. I'm I'm what, 33? I was born 86, so I'm not good at math. This is what was the reason. This is the reason why I didn't do so much programming. Okay, let's just paint it more or less so I know what I'm dealing with here. Like here-ish maybe, and maybe like here, so it's nice and three-dimensional. Good, good. Let's add some sky. Pish. Like this one. And this, and maybe let's make some skyish color. Like this. Chapin. Okay, maybe a bit brighter. Oh, this is a nice color actually. And okay, now I can see that this part is too not in perspective. Okay. Would I take a trainee? I don't know. I would like to take a trainee, not now because I'm too busy. But I'm not. I can see that in the future, especially if I start doing crazy things like monthly comics or something, then maybe I will have to hire someone to help with stuff. But that depends. Maybe it will be like painting stuff. Maybe it will be more like internet things or video editing or stuff like this. But yeah, maybe. Okay. June will be really busy for me. This is probably where the book will be taking shape. So I don't know if I'll be sleeping at all. Okay, let's try and paint some of the things on the scene in the color that I think will be more or less what they should be. Because now they are just like random colors that I took more or less from the random palette. Where is my palette? Okay, let's see, like this maybe, and this part here, like maybe this color, maybe more yellowish. Yeah, kind of like this. Okay, so the light comes from outside, and this part will be brighter, like this one. Okay, and this is even more bright because we have like the light coming from outside, and also probably will make it mirror the sky a little bit, so like bluish color also a bit. Okay, the trees outside are too heavy. Where are they? Here. We can also use the hue saturation palette to make stuff like brighter, more saturated, less saturated, which is useful. This part here, hue saturated, more saturated, darker, less saturated, more bluish maybe. Yeah, this is nice. And these leaves here, I'll take the colors from here and make it a little bit lighter and color them in more lighter. Color them in for now. And this cliff thing, what I should do with you, like this maybe. Okay, and these trees are too prominent also a bit. They are far, so I want to make them more bluish color maybe, like this. Yeah, for now. The tables are dark wood, so I want to make the top surface kind of mirror the sky. This is the right one, yeah. So also like really light color, but the side has to be dark brown. So let's make a dark brown, like this one for example. Okay, and this part here also. For now I'm going to color them just a different bit, a bit different color, so we can differentiate the layers now, what I did. Okay, and maybe this color right there. Oh no, this is the inside, so darker, more bluish maybe, like this. Okay, and here's the leg, like this, a little bit lighter leg. Okay, so now for the other table. I know there's a layer selector, I want to use it. Okay, so this table is reflecting this part here and also this part here, so it's painted like more or less like this maybe. And the side. Okay, so darker. This is the leg, so this color. Okay, and now the inside. This is like this color, and the middle part here, which is this more or less. Okay, and now the tatami mat, which is this layer. I don't name layers, I should. Hello everyone! Can you read or write the Japanese? I can write Japanese on the computer, which will turn the things that I write to kanji, so the Japanese letters automatically, which is really useful. I can read on the computer where I can check some letters that I don't know, which is really helpful. And also I use the reading function on the computer, which allows me to get text read to me by the computer, which is really helpful also. What is this? This is a mark. What is this? Ah, okay, this is the selection tool thing. Yeah, okay. And I wanted this. but if you told me to just write something by hand, it would be really difficult for me still. And reading a text that does not have the furigana, so the reading above the letters, is also really difficult still. I really am kind of bummed that I did not put more time into learning Japanese letters when I was still in the university, and now I have no time to do it. But yeah, probably when I'll be resting the second part of this year from a bigger work, I'll be trying to learn some Japanese reading better. This is one of my maybe not goals, but things that I would like to do this year if I have a chance to. It depends how busy I'll be. Okay, so this part, I'll be busy. Okay, so this should be similar color to this part, maybe a bit lighter-ish. The canvas is 2000 per 2000 pixels only. Okay. Now the part here. Let's saturate it like this. Okay, let's see how this looks without the sketch. Okay, this is a nice beginning for a painting. Again, I'm doing something that's ultimately similar to this, which is Kana's animation. But this time I was using Photoshop for this one, but this time I decided to use Procreate so I can stream it to you and then again at the same time record it. Okay, so I think we'll go for like 10 minutes more because I have to charge this thing, and also I have a Q&A for my Patreon supporters in like half an hour, so I'll be doing this later. But the base is here. I just want to quickly test the shadow that I want to put here. So we will do quickly a new layer, set it to multiply. I usually avoid doing this, but I want to do it like really quickly. Shadow like color like this maybe, and let's try to paint some shadow and see how what happens. Okay, so the light comes from outside, so let's try to make this part darker. Okay, like this maybe, and but also there's lights from inside, so I don't want to make it too strong. So let's try to make it interesting, like this for example. So I can erase maybe this part here. Nah, okay, let's. This is also an interesting part. I like to add shadows like this to check how stuff looks before painting the shadow onto objects. Yeah, maybe like this is okay. Let's say that there's like a light from up above also in the shop, so we can paint shadows like this, which are interesting more, especially with the character here. I would like to have a nice like shadow here, yeah, and also like here-ish. This part should be a bit darker too maybe, so the reflection here will be also a bit darker, but not like in full shadow. Maybe something like this. Yeah, this looks okay. Kind of like this probably. And of course there will be like a mirror of the guy in the table, and maybe some sky from the outside here. Like this, and some stuff on the table also. So this is more or less the look I'm kind of going for. Yeah, there's no sin in multiply, but that's a nice quote. I will remember that. But I like to use it for testing, but I like also to use no multiply layer for the regular shadow that I'll do eventually. Just because I like to play with the colors on each thing. And also I'll put if we are already doing this, how do you do it? Oh yeah, screen layer. Where is it? It's here, in between the inside and the outside, to add some, try to add some light blue, so it kind of makes the outside more outside-ish. Where's the color? Yeah, like this. Yeah, and let's not forget that we need to add the glass on the, like between the window and the outside frame. So here. Just like, let's paint it for now like this, and copy paste this part so it's only between the cut paste P. Okay, and let's erase this part. Yeah, so more or less like this, but with this shadow it gets a bit too darkish, so I'll probably make less of this shadow, a bit like this. And let's add an overlay layer and paint with this kind of yellowish color to make it a bit more fun. Yeah, maybe too much. Oh yeah, but it's okay. Like this. If we put it here, yeah. Okay, this looks kind of nice. There's no sin in multiply, which is a nice quote. I'll remember that. Okay, so I still have the Q&A session in like 20 minutes, so I'll be doing this thing next. Stay tuned for this picture. It will be a next animation like this one from Kana that you can see on YouTube. Like this one. And you can see it on Kana's channel, which is just search for Kana Urbanovic and you'll find it. And it's with the bug. So go check it out, and I'll be doing a making of video for the background for this one that you have seen when I finish it, and when Kana's animation is published also, when the animation is finished. It will probably take some time still to finish, but yeah, it's going to be nice. I already seen the moving version of this guy, and he eats perfectly, so I'm really looking forward for this. Okay, thank you for joining me in this stream, and thank you for commenting, and thank you for your attention. I'll be doing more things like this, because now I can see that the iPad Pro with the HDMI thing works pretty well, so I can do more streaming like this. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you in the next video or stream or live stream or something like this. Okay, bye.